Hi there, and welcome to episode 28 of A Slice of Pie podcast. My name is Kat Loftus, and we're so glad you're here. This week, we welcome the nurses from Revive Functional Wellness to our podcast. They are going to let you know that they are another solution to any health problems you might have. Maybe you're suffering from anxiety, you can't sleep, you've tried to lose weight and you can't. Headaches, brain fog, whatever the case may be, an undiagnosed health problem. So they're another strategy you can try, and you get in touch with them. First phone call is free, and they can do some lab tests on you, look at the results, and give you a suggestion about what you can do to feel better, and make a plan for you. So it's kind of exciting, kind of different, new. I don't know about functional wellness. Maybe y'all do, but it was just my first time learning about it. So I was really fascinated by what they do and their success stories. And I think you're going to love hearing about this too. I got to know one of the ladies, Emily Horton, because I taught Maggie, her daughter, in second grade when I was still teaching. Maggie's now in fourth grade. And Maggie, I hope you're doing well. I love you and I miss you. And I know you're doing great things in fourth grade. Anyway, I got to meet with Emily Horton. I also got to meet with Christy Roderick, Tina Weiss, and then another member of their team is Sabrina Bailey, but Sabrina couldn't make it here for the interview, so the rest of her team did it without her, but she's a very important part of that team. But it was really fascinating to hear about all the things they can do to help you feel better and be your best self. So I know you're going to enjoy hearing about this. The weather is great in Pawleys Island today. It got all the way up to 70 degrees. So last week of January, a lot of times in South Carolina, we get that warm week in the last week of January. So if you are somewhere really cold and you want to get here, come on down. Rates are really good to rent a place, or maybe you know somebody that has a place down here. You can just stay there with them. It'd be great. Play golf, walk on the beach, go fishing, go shopping, just whatever. Just take it easy. It's a great place to be. Anyway, we're so glad you're here watching, and I hope you're enjoying a Slice of Pie podcast. So sit back and enjoy episode 28. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming in today for our podcast. We're so glad you're here. As you know, this is still in the month of January, and a Slice of Pie podcast has been covering health, wellness, anything about nutrition and fitness. And I'd spoken with Emily over here. Emily, raise your hand. Yeah. And so I was fortunate enough to teach Emily's younger daughter, Maggie, who's in second grade, but now she's in fourth grade, doing real well. And that's how I got to know Emily. But she wanted a chance to talk about y'all's business. And so I got a little preview of it earlier, and I'm fascinated with what y'all are doing. And I think everybody that listens to the podcast is going to be fascinated with what y'all are doing. So the name of your business is Revive Functional Wellness. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. So before we get into what the business is and how awesome it is and how it can help people, if you would just introduce yourself and tell us, like, where'd you grow up, where'd you go to school, and a little bit about your family.
Yeah, my name's Emily, and I grew up in Simpsonville, South Carolina. So I'm a South Carolina girl. We always came down to this area all the time, to the beach, and I've always loved Pawleys Island. And my husband and I, we have lived in this area, Pawleys Island, Murrells Inlet area, for a little over 20 years now. And I went to the College of Charleston, and then I went to Horry Georgetown Tech for nursing school, and recently graduated with functional diagnostic nutrition, and just working. Yeah, and start working
So
with them.
is your degree from Horry Georgetown Tech, is that in addition to another degree you had, or is that you?
I had my first degree is actually in anthropology.
Okay.
I have a Bachelor of Science in Anthropology, and
Did you get that at the College of Charleston?
I did.
Okay, cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
What were you planning on doing with that?
I was going to be an underwater archaeologist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
There's not too many of those jobs
No?
out, so I had to rethink things. So,
Okay.
and we moved to this area and had interest in the medical field, so I decided to go into nursing. And I've been a nurse for over a decade, and realized that really, I always had a passionate love for functional wellness, and so I decided to pursue that.
Okay. All right.
So,
All right. Okay.
Hi, I'm Christy Roderick, and I was born in Pennsylvania, but raised in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm a military brat. So raised on the military base in Charleston, and but I've lived in the Murrells Inlet, Pawleys Island area for most of my adult life. I think it's over 22 years now. I'm aging myself a little bit, but yeah, my husband and I have been here for around 22 years. We've raised both of our girls here. And I also, like Emily, graduated nursing school at Horry Georgetown Tech, and recently became board certified in holistic as a holistic practitioner. And we started our business, Revive Functional Wellness, together. We've been friends for a really long time, so it just made a lot of sense. And I'm sure we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I'll pass this to Tina.
Did y'all meet in nursing
sorry.
school?
No. So we met through mutual friends.
we did. Our other partner that's not here, Sabrina, we went to nursing school together.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
And yeah, and Sabrina, who's not here, her and I have been friends for even I think it was like I think maybe 4 years before we even decided to go to nursing school. So
Okay.
yeah, so we all have a very long history together.
Great.
Babies and marriage and all
Great.
sorts of fun things together. So
Okay. Let's hear from Tina.
Hello, I'm Tina Weiss, and I grew up in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Came down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for college, and transferred from Coastal Carolina into the nursing program at Horry Georgetown Tech and became a registered nurse. I'm also board certified in functional diagnostic wellness. We all did that together. As we said, we've all been friends. I know with Christy and Sabrina for probably over 20 years, and then got to meet Emily as well. And we've always had this interest in, functional wellness, and we went down the rabbit hole together, and we don't want to get out. Like, we are obsessed. So
You believe in what you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So when I knew that Emily was doing a little bit of that, but to me, it was something like yoga. I just had no idea what it was. I'm thinking, what is functional wellness? I'm thinking, I'm just not going to think about that because I don't know what that is. I mean, a lot of people just shut it down because I don't even know what that means. But when you and I talked earlier, you started explaining it to me, I thought that is phenomenal. So you want to just explain to our listeners what is functional wellness and what is the goal of functional wellness?
Functional wellness, it has been around for a very, very long time. A lot of people are not aware of what functional wellness is. It's basically kind of the best way to describe it, and kind of what we do is we want to see how your body look at it functions at a whole, at a complete whole, healing your body, trying to understand exactly what is going on in your body, the root causes of why. A lot of times, when you go to a doctor and find out, I'm tired, I'm not feeling very well. What we do is we take that and we look at all the different, healing opportunities using through functional lab work, trying to figure out exactly what is going on and why and how to fix it.
Okay, cool.
So,
Yeah. So, and y'all work in cooperation with their healthcare provider. You're not, you don't say, oh, you don't need to listen to your doctor, only listen to us. You work in conjunction with the healthcare provider.
Correct. So we really want to be, a complement to what you're already, your practitioners that you're already seeing, definitely. And we're just looking, I think our approach is always just to give you another viewpoint of your health, to give you a plan forward to continue onto a wellness journey that really makes a difference and really resolves some of the things that you might not be able to get answers to otherwise. And again, some of these things can be vague. I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm fatigued. I'm not able to lose weight. I'm experiencing some depression. Every time I eat this thing, I have this happen. So we're really we look at things in a way that are, again, it's holistic. So we're looking at the whole body and we're sort of correlating all the things that we can see test wise and trying to get to the root of those rather than chasing down one symptom at a time. It's more of a holistic viewpoint, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So I as an older woman, I suffer with not being able to sleep, get a full
Mhm.
night's sleep, which really bothers me because I really want to sleep 8 hours.
Mhm.
And I would like to lose weight, but if I am working out every day and being so great with all my proteins and vegetables, and I cannot get the needle on that scale to move, it is so frustrating. So, and then we talked about anxiety a little bit. People suffering from anxiety, and maybe there's something going on in their gut or with their hormones or something
Yes.
that if you could just make a few changes, that it would help you. So, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Amy?
I was just going to say that, we love our local doctors. We're registered nurses and worked in the hospitals, and we definitely need them. But what we like to do, as we spoke about, is look at everything whole body approach, like maybe the root causes of some of our issues, and go more of a naturopathic path with that.
Yep.
And when you had said sleep and anxiety, those were two of the things I suffered with my like half of my life, most of my adult life. I had to take like half an Ambien to go to sleep, Xanax here and there for anxiety. And in doing the program that we do through diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation, I now sleep. I don't have to take anything. I don't take anything for
That's
anxiety.
awesome.
I had so many stressors that came up on my tests that we worked on and hopefully healed. It's a whole new world for me.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so say you have a client that comes to you, and they say, I really can't lose weight, or I'm depressed, or whatever. What is the first step with them? Do you just sit there and have a conversation with them, or what's the first consultation like with that person?
What we offer is a discovery call. This is a free consultation that we just sit down with them and try to figure out, what are your main concerns? How can I help you? How can I best support you? And we use that and go based on their answers and tailor out a program best for them.
Okay, so your first call, is it a phone call, or is it an in-person visit, or how do y'all normally do that?
Yeah, we typically, schedule a phone call for that to make it convenient for them. And then because we are remote, so we can, cater to people in every state.
Oh, wow.
Actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So it's not just a local business. You
It's
all
not. It's not, but we do love our local community, and we really want to serve here in the way that matters. We think that it's really needed. But yeah, so we set up a phone consultation again, like Emily said, and then from there, it's typically a Zoom telehealth sort of style when we meet with our clients to deliver their protocol. And part of the package, or part of our foundation, I guess our foundational labs, we start with microbiome testing and hormone testing. And so those we feel are staples for an adult client. We can learn a lot about them. And then we use genetic testing, food sensitivity testing, and hair mineral testing for our younger clients as well. So we build out a package for them, but we use very specific lab partners that have designed tests to give us a lot of information.
When I was talking with Emily earlier, and I said, okay, I love true crime, and I love all the
Yeah.
Law and Order and all that stuff. And you hear about DNA testing, and let's go look on the National Registry. And I said, if I give y'all my spit and y'all figure out my genetics, is that going to be on a national registry? I mean, because I mean, not that I've committed any crimes or
our
planning to.
test will not end up on a national registry.
Great,
No,
that's
it's
all I
not.
need to know.
No, this is confidential. Provider.
Good.
Yeah, confidentiality.
Good.
For that, so you don't have to worry there.
I don't think I have anything to hide, but just in case.
You never know.
Just in case. Okay, so your client comes to you, you have an initial consultation with them, you find out what's going on with them, and they will you get a couple specimens from them, I believe, maybe some saliva, maybe some
So
just different kind of specimens from them.
exactly.
And then y'all send that off to your lab, get the results back from them, and then you call the client back for the next consultation.
Yeah. So once we receive all the lab results as they result, they don't normally all result around the same time frame. Then we initiate and we reach out to the client to schedule their results and recommendations session. And we allot for a time period to build their protocol because, it's a lot of information. So we need to sit down and really do our due diligence and create a protocol that is very specific to their needs. And so no two protocols will ever look the same. And so we do that, and then we set up the results and recommendations, which is typically around a 90-minute session of information for them. And yeah, we provide step-by-step information to get them, back to feeling like themselves, healing, thriving, and meeting the goals they want to see.
But it's not a quick fix.
No.
It's going to take some time. So typically, what time frame are we looking at for that client to start feeling better, doing better?
So our programs right now are 3 months to really get the habits in place, to start some of the supplementation, and to get things moving. So it really is very bio-individual, and that's really, I guess, kind of the commonality in all of this. We're really looking at people so specifically in their labs and in their health. So we can't necessarily say for everybody how long that's going to take.
Right.
And I kind of joke and say, well, it took you, 5 years to get into this position. It's not going to take 5 minutes to get out. We really have to commit to it. So, but we are seeing some fascinating things rather quickly for a lot of our clients.
I'm excited to hear about y'all's success stories. But so the client comes in for initial consultation. You get a couple samples from them. Those go to the lab. Those results come back. You have the follow-up consultation, and then you establish the protocol. Then the client leaves you and starts doing what you recommend. So is there support for them along the way if they say, if we're having trouble, I'm having trouble with this, or I'm just like, what do you do to help them, support them along the way?
Yes. So built into every package are a specific number of follow-up sessions along with constant access to us. So we are always, getting little messages. Hey, this is, what should I do for this? Or what should I do with that? And so that, we're very accessible to the client. And then we also set up video follow-up sessions for any really major troubleshooting or some hurdle that's come up that they need to work through.
Okay. So I also asked earlier about cost because we want to make sure that if people can afford it, if they can. So typically you said the initial, the initial payment might be about $200, $250 for the initial consultation, something like that.
It varies. The initial talk with us, the discovery, is free. And so it depends on what package or what test they want to do.
Yeah.
But there's a fee, a practitioner fee that covers us. You're going to work with one practitioner, but we really work as a group on all of our clients.
You're kind of consulting together.
Yeah, we consult. So you get 4 nurses, on each patient.
Oh yeah, who are we missing here today?
Sabrina Bailey is missing, and she is pretty much the leader of the pack. I feel like she's the one that talked us into nursing school, talked us into babies, and talked us into
shout out Sabrina. We wish you were here.
We love her. We love her. But it depends on the package they pick, and there's a practitioner fee that covers their whole time with us. And then we can break that up into payments. So we do no interest payment plans on our fees as well as the lab fees. So the lab bills separately on some of the labs, some we have to bill for. But they also offer a no interest payment plan.
So for a 3 or 4 month plan, do you think what might a client be looking at?
So they would have to cover the cost of their labs. It depends on which ones they would want. And then the practitioner fee, again, it varies.
It reflects the lab amount.
Yeah. So go ahead, Christy.
Sorry. So the practitioner fees would reflect the labs that are used. So you're looking at, for a foundational package, like a place to get started, you're looking right around, that package right now is right around $1,750.
Yeah.
So if that's,
including all the labs.
That includes the labs.
I just love transparency.
Yeah.
I hate when I go to somewhere to get some teeth pulled or crowns put in, and then you find out what it costs later. So if you could just tell me up front and I can just deal with it, I'm ready. So I just want our listeners to know what kind of costs they're looking at. And unfortunately, it's not covered by insurance yet because it's not recognized yet. But you have had a lot of success with what y'all are doing.
Yes, and so that fee does, like I said, include the lab fee. The lab fee or the lab providers that we're using, the the labs that they provide us are very sophisticated. So the lab cost is sort of the bulk of it. And hopefully one day they'll come down and it'll be more affordable for everybody. But yeah, we're trying to make it affordable. We want everybody to have access to this. It's so informative.
Yes.
Even if you don't have a lot to work on, it's just a great place to start, and hopefully prevent, future disease processes. So
All right. Can y'all can you share a couple of success stories with us, or cases you've worked with and what you were looking at? And
Yeah, absolutely. So myself being the first success story,
okay.
it's amazing. Even when you don't think, even people that are out there that think, well, no, I feel pretty good. I just have kind of this and this. When we run these tests, like myself, I mean, I did have trouble sleeping and some headaches and some anxiety, but the stressors that we actually can lay down in front of you and show you, it's mind blowing. It's awesome.
Mhm.
So just the fact that you can see what's going on in your gut and fix it, I mean, you're helping your body to be well and whole. It's just so important. But for my success story, I sleep now without Ambien. I don't take anxiety medication. I don't get migraines anymore. Through a genetics test that I did, I can't process MSG.
Mhm.
There's my severe migraines, some food sensitivities
So
I had.
you didn't know about the sensitivity to MSG until you had those lab tests. Is that
Right,
correct?
right,
Uh-huh.
yeah. I have a GAD1 mutation where my body can't take glutamine, which is like your excitatory, and process it to GABA, which is your relax. So I'm constantly go, 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 type A, can't
Right.
stop, and can't break that down
Yeah.
in like MSG. And so
Yeah.
it causes severe headaches. I never knew that. Something simple as using Greek seasoning on my broccoli that I would make. I mean, I would say, what's going on here? Like I ate all good foods. Like, why did I get this?
So Greek
explosion?
seasoning has MSG in it?
Yes, it does.
Oh gosh.
And I use that. I actually learned to use that through nursing school when one of our professors said, just put Greek seasoning on all your vegetables. And I was like, wow, this is delicious.
Uh-huh.
So, but we have so many client stories, and I'll just give you a few. I just had one that one of my awesome clients that just messaged me on the way here and said that for 10 years she'd have to take Pepcid every night.
Yeah.
No longer has to take that. And hasn't been taking, and
Wow.
this was 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And she said last night she even ate a bunch of garlic, which would have never been okay in the past. And she's like, no issues. So I have one that had such pain in her joints walking up the stairs, no longer has that. There's another one. We ask that our clients get a thyroid test, a full comprehensive thyroid test. One of our clients had really high antibodies, got her an appointment with a very well-known, very good doctor, Dr. Henderson in Charleston. And while we were waiting for that appointment, we worked on her diet, her rest, her exercise, her stress reduction. We added some supplements to help the thyroid. We reduced those antibodies by 100.
Wow.
She went to the appointment and she does have some nodules. So had we not done, she's very thankful for us because had we not done that, she wouldn't have known about these nodules and are getting them taken care of right now.
Great. Okay.
So yes, some great stories. One of my clients can see at night now when she drives. Last time I saw her,
honey, I need that help.
Last time I saw her, she was glowing her skin,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "Yeah, I know. Like my skin looks so good." We can go on and on and on. I'll let others tell theirs, but
Okay.
they're just great stories.
Okay.
Great.
yeah, so like Tina was saying, with her story being the, first and foremost that she noticed going through this process, I can, I can definitely relate to that as far as my health is definitely was definitely a mystery for many years. I had a lot of unanswered questions and found out that I had pretty significant thyroid disorder and thyroid autoimmunity, and so I found this out actually prior to my own training through a functional practitioner and started doing some work, but I still wasn't able to put all the pieces together until recently, where I was finally able to put my autoimmunity fully into remission for the first time ever.
Wow.
Which has been really, really awesome. And so a lot of times I find that people that end up in this functional space really do come here out of desperation
Yeah.
in some degree. And if you talk
Frustration,
to frustration and desperation,
They,
and
they know that there's something wrong with them, but nobody can put a finger on what's wrong with them.
yeah, yes. And so for a long time I was a nurse for over a decade, still am a nurse obviously. And so I kept going to my primary saying, something's wrong with my thyroid, I'm having thyroid symptoms. But the lab ranges were so large that it wasn't being flagged. And so it took me actually working with a functional practitioner and then working with an integrative endocrinologist to understand the full scope of my thyroid dysfunction. And so, and then from there, doing this training and implementing our protocols, I've actually been able to put that into remission, like I said. But as far as client stories, I would say the testimonials are they're so much fun to see. And so like we've talked about, our clients are coming to us with sort of vague, things going on. So sometimes the testimonials can feel a little vague, but to them they're life changing. And so we're seeing a lot of weight loss, whether that was intentional, like if they, maybe they came to us with, like Tina said, like joint pain or depression or anxiety, but weight loss seems to be something that's kind of across the board for our clients. Definitely a lot of our clients are sleeping better. I have one that has had a restored libido after like 5 years, and she's very thankful for this.
Is she married?
She is.
I bet her husband's excited about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Woo! Just in
she-
time for Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Yes, she is very excited about that. We have clients that, again, there's I think headaches are something that's very quick to resolve. I definitely have clients that are coming back with less headaches, less brain fog, more energy. We're hearing
Love
that
that.
over and
Energy's a
over.
big one.
Energy, more and more energy. So, yeah.
So I just always like to talk about alcohol for just a second.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times when you do work hard, you feel frustrated or just not feeling good, you'll just go have a drink. Let me just grab a glass of wine or have a drink of some kind. And that's just really not the answer. It's just kind
Right.
of masking over those other problems. But I've noticed recently, like don't drink. And then I see some friends and I have a drink or two. And it's just awful the next day. It is
Yeah.
absolutely awful. And I'm getting to the point where I realize I just got to stop drinking. It helps me. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
I just feel
Mhm.
awful the next day, and it's not worth it. It's
Yes.
really not even worth it anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, we're all in the camp of no alcohol. No amount of alcohol is good or beneficial in any regard, and none of us really drink to any extent, hardly
Yeah.
ever. And if we do, we feel like
Yeah.
we
But-
definitely regret it.
But let me just add.
Yeah.
But to add to that, we're all human.
right.
And we walk the same walk as our clients
Right.
every single day.
Sure.
And so if you want to eat something that,
If you want to eat a donut or
do it.
yeah,
Just,
piece of cake.
or if you're going out of town for the weekend, I mean, hey, but you know what? On Monday, get back on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get back on. So, but we're human. We don't ask our clients to like not do things that they love. It's just start in moderation, right?
Absolutely.
And less. And, it's just, we totally understand that. And we walk that walk and we mess up and we tell each other. So,
Yeah, I think really anybody that's successful with their health realizes that you're going to have a cheat day or you're going to have a wedding reception to go to or something. But as long as you get back on track, don't get so depressed. Think I just
Absolutely.
blew it. What am I even
Yeah.
trying for? But just get back on track.
Yeah.
Just like if your car goes off the road, get back on track.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think a lot of times moderation is key.
Uh-huh.
Of course, we would love for all of our clients to, be on the right track and to, eliminate gluten, eliminate, alcohol and everything. But like Tina said, we have to be realistic because when you don't do things in moderation, you're just setting yourself up for failure, and
Right.
that's not what we're about. We want you to be successful. We want you to be able to succeed at this and to be able to get better.
So, do you have a success story you want to share?
I do.
Okay.
My biggest thing is one of the reasons I really went into this was because of my mom. My mother has had so many numerous health issues, had a hard time. She has been to pretty much every doctor you can imagine and has not been able to find answers.
What was she suffering from? What are her symptoms?
She is a diabetic and she's had uncontrolled diabetes. She has a lot of spinal stenosis, a lot of joint pain. to the fact that she was pretty much bedbound, depression.
I'm assuming she's on
Yes.
insulin.
She's on insulin now. And she had thyroid issues. She always, ever since I was a child, always had her days and nights mixed up. Would sleep maybe 2-3 hours at night. She never was able to sleep. So when we did some testing for her, found out all the inflammation that she had in her gut, had a lot of health issues. And so when we started her protocol, within a week, she called me and she said, you would not believe this. She goes, I slept a solid 8 hours last night for the first time in 30 years.
Didn't you feel good? You had to feel so good.
I was like, this makes it all worth it. This is,
Yeah.
this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
So could you give me an age range for your mom?
She is 73.
73. Thank you. Okay. All right.
But she has done so well. She said that for the first time in a long time, she has a sense of calmness. She doesn't have that anxiety. She goes, I can't explain it. She goes, I just feel at peace. I feel so good, but I feel motivated at the same time. And she's actually getting up and doing things, which is phenomenal.
I mean, she still has her diabetes and everything.
She still does, and
right.
her sugars have been better,
Yeah.
and she has been able to control that much, much better. But
Right.
like I said, like we said, this is going to be a process. She's had a lot of health issues for a very long time, so it's going to be something that, it's going to take a little while, but she is heading in the right direction. She sings praises. She's like, I'm just so thankful and so happy. She goes, I haven't felt this good in a long, long time.
Yeah, and I really can see your efforts in conjunction with her medical providers' efforts, have worked together, have partnered together well to get her to where she is. And also the other client you had talked about that was having a thyroid problem. Yeah, that's y'all working together with
we
the
got the appointment
healthcare
right away.
provider. Yeah. So I really like that a lot. Also, you talked about that sometimes y'all will just test your children just to see. And you found out that your son.
Well, actually, it's funny going back. My son, he's 16, and when he was a baby, about 8 weeks old, he started breaking out with eczema, and it was severe eczema to the point where we had to go up to Duke University, see all these specialists.
That's awful.
Had it from head to toe.
God bless him.
He was on so many different topical medications, and they just kind of say, oh, well, you need to take this medicine, this topical medicine. Never once said, hey, maybe we need to check his gut. Maybe we need to see what's going on. And then I checked we ran a GI map on him not too long ago, and I was very shocked. He had a lot of a lot of inflammation, a lot of, issues. So that's something that he has definitely started feeling better. We started the protocol. He hasn't had the heartburn. His skin's looking better.
Yeah.
He hasn't broken out. It's just phenomenal. I wish I had done this so much earlier.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here wondering what's wrong with me. I'm thinking, I wonder what's wrong with me. I wonder how much better my life could be at this point. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things that we found out is there's a marker called anti-gliadin that is a marker for gluten sensitivity. And, my son's was off the charts. So we found out that he was allergic to, or having a sensitivity to gluten. And which has been kind of a difficult thing for a teenager to kind of give up. But we've been doing our best. But
what is that funny thing you told me earlier? You said, hey, you're allergic to gluten, but he's a teenager and he's hungry.
He is. I sat down with him and I showed him actually I said, all right, this is why you're feeling this way.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I understand. I'm going to try to do better. So when he's at home, for breakfast, dinner, we definitely gluten-free, try to eat, vegetables
Get
and everything.
the proteins in. Yeah.
But he's a teenager. He gets off out of school and he comes home and he's got a McDonald's.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
it's just like you can't be perfect. I mean, we're all doing the best we can. We're just doing the best we can.
Also, when you say no gluten to people, they start to panic. And I did too. So that's the first thing I did when I knew I needed to give up gluten. It is unbelievable. Like, I personally shop for my groceries online and then do pickups and stuff. If you just type in the search thing, gluten free, you can get everything. I mean, so for my son, I sneak and switch everything to gluten free and he has no idea. The pizza I put in the oven, the taco shells, the spaghetti noodles, all his snacks. he has no idea. You can get, there's so much available. There's
So
much
give me an
available.
example. Like, tell me a store you would be shopping at, and you're searching up gluten free. How do you do that?
Well, Target. I mean, any of the grocery stores I do pickups at.
Yeah.
You just type gluten free pasta or just the words gluten free,
Uh-huh.
and you can get gluten free brownie mix. I mean, like
So
I said,
if you're on the
everything.
Target website, you
Yeah.
can type in gluten free whatever,
Absolutely.
right? Okay.
And there's gluten free cookies, snacks for these kids. I mean, yeah, we want to reduce the amount of sugar that they have too, but
Yeah.
there are things because they are kids, gluten free cereal, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
So gluten free Cheerios, I mean, everything. And then
Yeah.
at all the restaurants now, you can pretty much ask for a gluten free menu.
Okay,
So,
but if I'm eating a salad or meat and vegetables, I shouldn't be eating any gluten, though, right? I should be
Correct.
clear. I should be good.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
most
Uh-huh.
things are gluten free. You're thinking breads, grains, pastas,
Yeah.
those sorts of things are what you have to avoid when it
Yeah.
comes to gluten.
Yeah.
Yes.
And beer has gluten in it, doesn't
beer
it?
does have
Yeah.
gluten.
But
Mhm.
wine does not,
No, wine does not have gluten.
and liquor does not.
Liquor does not. Oh, well, some liquors. You want to, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what else do y'all want to tell us? Is there anything else you want to tell us about Revive Functional Wellness? How do people get in touch with y'all?
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah. So you can definitely visit our website, revivefunctionalwellnesssc.com. And you can book a discovery call with any practitioner that you prefer to work with. You can book or whenever suits your schedule or whatever, however you want to decide. We're all there. You can select the discovery call link and it will prompt you to select a date and time. And that will schedule the call. And then we'll obviously call you on that date and time and discuss whatever goals you have for your health, what's bothering you, what's troubling you, and how we can help.
I'm just thinking, I'm saying, okay, whoever wants to help me, okay, let's do my testing. Let me know what's wrong with me. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, I have no idea. It could be any. As a mom, we tend to think of everybody else before we think of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make it to the next day most of the
Yeah.
time. And, so it's so nice if somebody thinks of you and thinks, hey, maybe you want to try this instead of this. So it's nice.
It does take work though. We want to, put it out there that there is diet changes.
Yeah.
We talk about rest is very important. Exercise is very important, especially in midlife women.
Yeah.
We can't, at our age, we can't go necessarily to ISI anymore, or at least there's a different type of exercise you need to do, heavy weights.
What? I'm
midlife.
sorry. What's ISI?
Some of
It's
these,
like a hit interval training.
which is
yeah.
awesome, and we used to go there.
Yeah.
But our bodies react differently now. We need specified exercises, heavy weights, things like that.
Yeah, the weightlifting and the heavy weights are really big right now.
Yeah, because muscle's the key to longevity.
Yes.
And insulin control, just everything. It's really important. So it takes a lot of different stuff, but it's once you start doing it and it becomes your routine, it's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll add too, like particularly with the exercise recommendations, like we're looking at your hormone landscape and really fine tuning. Okay, are you over exercising? Are you, could you use to exercise more? Like, how is that affecting your adrenal
How are your
output?
cortisol levels?
Yeah, what are your cortisol levels looking like? And so that's it. We're really looking at you, and you're not getting general recommendations that you might get if you just started searching on the internet or whatnot. It really needs to be specific.
Yeah.
Some people can handle more than others.
Mhm.
So yeah, and Tina was referencing like HIIT interval training, like really high intensity training. I feel like a lot of us, I know that I fall into this. I have my whole life that when my body started to feel sick or tired or weak, I did more when it came to calorie restricting, dieting, extreme exercise, and CrossFit training and ISI training. And God love those, and they have their place. But I was actually doing a lot of damage to my health, and I did not understand that because there was no way for me to know that. I couldn't quantify what was taking place in my body. I needed some sort of data in front of me to understand that. So I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing into a place where I couldn't function. Essentially, is what happened. So I think it's just important to know that it's very specific to to you, to whoever we're
Yeah,
working
more
with.
is not always better. Sometimes more is just
Yeah.
more. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I love that you tailor make it to each client's
Mhm.
needs. I love that so much. That's so
Mhm.
great. So, like, for example, I probably don't have a whole lot of hormones left anymore. I don't know where I am with that, but I could see that I would probably need help. So when you give this protocol to your clients, um, are you giving them nutrition advice, exercise advice, maybe some supplement advice? How does it go? What are they going to start getting involved with?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you want to,
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking to the mic.
Okay.
No, we want our clients to be able to have a full picture. We want them, because our protocol focuses on diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. Um, we provide during the protocol, we provide educational modules to help them understand exactly what
Like a
these things
video,
are. Like video,
video.
yeah, it's a website and
uh-huh.
it goes over all of these things
Mhm.
because education we feel is the most important thing to be able to understand how your body works and how to feel better. So
Right.
we are constantly trying to provide a lot of education.
So when, like say, I know, for example, when I wake up, I'm gonna try and drink my water, my first couple cups of water. My friend Stephanie Johnson, she makes these peanut butter balls out of oatmeal and peanut butter and some. So I eat one of those before I go work out. Then I'll go work out. I'll come back and have like my little Greek yogurt and my blueberries, whatever. But so what I'm asking you is, do you say on a daily basis you maybe need to get this much carbohydrate or this much protein? Is that what you're telling people, or how are you? What is the recommendations like?
So we're not really breaking down, your macronutrients in that regard. We're more looking at your labs and specifically isolating what foods could help and what foods could
To-
harm you.
to
Yes,
eliminate,
to
yeah.
eliminate.
Mhm.
And so we do this by obviously. So let me give you an example. So when we're looking at, say, the microbiome specifically, we are if your a microbiome is it's a cascade of microorganisms that need to be there, some shouldn't be as high as they are and as growing as freely as they are. So there are specific ways to eat for your microbiome, and so we highlight that. Right.
Okay.
And same for hormones. Like, so, if you're under eating, so we might not prompt you to eat X amount of calories, but we prompt you to look further into your caloric intake to decide, are you under eating? Because that can be a very big stressor on your body.
Yeah.
Which I find that, a lot of us ladies tend to do, or if we're busy, we can tend to undereat chronically, and that chronic undereating can be really stressful for the body. So it's very specific in that way, as far as the nutrition component goes. And then, of course, we're running food sensitivity panels as well, which will obviously very overtly tell you, not to eat this or not to eat that. That's a test that we use. Anything I'm forgetting?
We encourage increased protein.
Yeah, we do encourage and less processed foods. So obviously, eating organic, grass-fed, eating high-quality foods. Increasing fiber for your microbiome, increasing healthy fats for your hormones. So there's everything's very specific to the testing that we're using. So
Yeah, I use my Fitness Pal as a
Yeah.
tracker.
Mhm.
So I try and do that. And then it's gotten better. After I log in, I can go to the bottom. It says my nutrition and it will show you what
Yes.
you've eaten, or you can tap the macros button and it can show you your macros. So
Mhm.
that little app helps me a lot.
Yes.
But you're right about, you grow up or you go to Weight Watchers and say, okay, eat as much meat as will fit in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And, or just, leave some food on your plate. You don't
Mhm.
want to act, don't want to seem like you're overeating. But really, if you're trying to get as much protein as you need, you really have to almost eat double of what you think you needed
Mhm.
before.
And that scares women.
It does.
That,
It
when
does
you tell
scare.
them they have
Yeah.
to eat more, they're like, wait, but I was always taught to eat less.
Yeah.
And that brings me back to the fasting too. Not everyone can fast, so
Right.
we need to look at your test results to see. It's kind of hard to get the amount of protein we need in if you're skipping a meal. So it's something that with each individual person, and it's a stressor. If your cortisol levels are too high, it's a stressor on your body. So a lot of things play into that.
Yeah, and protein is all around. It's not just in meats. You can get it in your Greek yogurt, right?
Yeah.
You can get it in peanut butter. I mean, it's in a lot of different products. It's just, yeah. Sometimes I was like, finding like, okay, I got to do so much cooking. But then I kind of took a clue from, I watched my grandkids how they meal prep. A lot of people meal prep now. So you can do your meal prep and then put it in little containers and then have it ready for you. So I've been started doing that. I'm really happy I'm doing that. But so I know that's one thing, but what is the supplement? I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but it's for your gut health, and everybody's buying those in the stores, like $25 a bottle. What are this thing? It's called it's a little tablet you take to help increase your gut health.
Is it like a probiotic?
A probiotic. Thank you. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, probiotics. So everybody's saying, oh, you got to have these probiotics. I'm thinking, well, I guess I should be taking probiotics, and I'm not even sure what that does for my gut.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point that you make up. And so we talk a lot about people, or we jokingly talk about people, DIYing their supplements. And so this can be great for some things and
Like do it yourself.
Yeah,
do it yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
do yourself.
Hearing things and just buying
Yeah,
it and
or
don't know
like
if your body needs it.
exactly, or social media. That social media
Oh
post looks
my
perfect, and I think that I
gosh,
need that, or that
yes.
sounds like me. Yeah, so we
All
always
the reels on Instagram.
Yes,
all the
right?
reels.
and it's definitely such a big thing right now. I feel like it's definitely there's such a market for it, right? So it's everywhere. And so we really say, let's test. We don't want to guess at this stuff. It can be expensive. A lot of times you're just it's like throwing spaghetti at a wall, right? You're taking all this stuff. Nothing's really working, or maybe something is working, but you're not really sure. And so that's why we just like to test and make sure you actually need it. It's a deficiency, or it's, or it needs to be there to support some process. But back to the microbiome specifically, so there are cases that people, need those probiotics, but they almost need them in a layered effect. So it's a little bit more sophisticated than just grabbing something off the shelf.
Uh-huh.
And they also need to be, you need to eat a certain way to promote that growth. So you can take them and they don't actually do much if the whole process isn't supported in a certain way. And then there are people that have a really robust microbiome that don't necessarily need, all of the probiotics. So it really is, again, something very individual.
So just to, to add on to her point is I just looked at a GI map last night, and her good bacteria was all there, looked perfect, and one was a little too high. That's not someone I would recommend a probiotic for.
Oh,
why would
interesting.
Yeah, she already had one that was too high.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So I don't know what else I was going to say about that. I was going to ask another question, but anyway, y'all just keep going. Okay.
Yeah. So, and as far as, so, I mean, the supplements that we use, we definitely use, very prescription grade supplements that are, tested and proven. And we try to, again, keep those costs down and only give what's needed or recommend what's needed, and create a protocol that's easy to follow, and just try to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah. As I get older, I'm starting to see a little creep in maybe my cholesterol. My blood pressure isn't really too bad, but I'm worried about that cholesterol. I'm to the verge where I might need to start taking a cholesterol medicine.
Right.
So is there anything I could do if y'all did my labs, and you could suggest something that maybe would help that?
Well, a lot of the cholesterol recommendations are sort of already wrapped up in our basis or our basic Pillars of Health protocol. We have a portal called the Pillars of Health protocol, which really lays out all the recommendations, the general recommendations, and then we fine tune those. But really, reducing saturated fats, reducing sugar, reducing inflammatory foods. Cholesterol is tricky though. There are people that are going to require medication. And so we definitely say, you're going to need your doctor for that.
Yeah, right.
And there are specific tests that, cardiologists do and doctors do. There are some tests that we can do as well. But that's when we definitely bounce back to your physician, but at the same time can support everything that you can do at home.
Support the physician's recommendations.
Yes, and almost sort of help you walk that walk rather than just hand you a recommendation. We sort of can help you implement it. And we like to think of it, we say, healing doesn't happen in a doctor's office or a hospital. healing happens at home. And so a lot of people need the support at home. What does that mean? What does that look like day to day? And that's what we found as nurses. There was a little bit of a gap that needed to be bridged in that support between, young and lively and healthy to like disease processes in full swing, right? There's a gap there that we really hope to be filling with our clients to, prevent those high cholesterols and prevent. But obviously there are genetic components to that.
That's
so,
right. That's right.
So yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about like a young mother that might come to you and thinking, I don't have time to do all that. And she's just worried and nervous. I can see like moms would need support. And she said, how am I going to eat this for me? My husband wants to eat this over here and he's going to go grill ribs all weekend and have his beer buddies here. And how am I going to be eating and doing what I'm supposed to and still not seem like, a grumpy person sitting here not eating with them?
It's funny you say that because I do have a client that, because like we said, we check in with you very frequently, if, to help kind of support you and also to pinpoint any issues. And one of them was, she said, I'm having a hard time taking my supplements. I'm having a hard time planning everything. So sat down and said, okay, let's get a calendar. Let's plan this out. I'm going to help you, put a timer on your phone to help you remember to do this. I know that with my family, I was the first one to start kind of trying to eat healthier. And it was so difficult, when you sit across the table and say, oh, they're eating all these things. But then I realized I feel so much better. And then you become a role model and you're like, and they have started to follow suit and started following, eating better and making better choices. Still working on the McDonald's thing. But I'm choosing my battles with that.
That's right.
But like I said, you take it a step at a time. You want to be able to be successful. So we'll try to pinpoint any of those problems and help guide them through it.
And I'll add too, the wonderful thing, I think it's a blessing and a curse, but all of us have walked our own health journey. And so,
have all of y'all been tested? Have you
oh yeah. And all of our families, everybody we know. Yeah. Everybody we know.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah. But even, prior to being in this place, we were led here by our own issues. And so we can relate to everybody that we're to every client because to some capacity,
And
right?
we all have kids
And we all have kids and we've all had things to work through with our children's health, which is something else that really united us as a team and pushed us forward to bring this business to our area. And so, honestly, it's we can relate. And so we have found creative ways to make this easier. We're trying to hack food prepping. We're trying to hack, I found a new supplement organizer for for somebody that has quite a bit of them, or, whatever it takes, that we need to sort of troubleshoot. We have the time to do it. We've allotted the time for our clients to support and really try to, get in there with them and say, let's figure this out together. And, maybe I was at a point one time where my brain fog was so intense, I couldn't think for myself. Like putting one foot in front of the other was difficult, let alone follow some protocol. And so I needed something like this at that time.
A support system. You needed a support system.
I needed somebody that had the wherewithal to navigate that for me. And I just didn't have it. And so, I think that's our goal. It's a passion. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the big general message we're hearing here is there is not one size fits all when it comes to taking care of your body.
Right.
Everybody has a different journey they're on. God made everybody different, and everybody just needs something that's tailor-made for themselves and their situation in life.
Absolutely.
You help people of all ages.
All ages.
Ages, and you help people all across the country, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet it's really gratifying when you get them to a place of good health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I am so excited to learn about functional wellness because I didn't really know what it was. I thought we were going to be meditating or something. I wasn't sure what functional
We
wellness.
can do that too.
Yeah. But
And
anyway,
recommend that if that's what's needed.
I probably need to get y'all to test me and then come back in 4 months and show everybody how I look like, a supermodel after
That would be fun. That would be fun.
I'm not really wanting to look like a supermodel, but but good health is so important.
It is.
Yeah.
And to wake up and feel good and you can think clearly and get your job done that day, it's a lot to be said. I mean, if you want to be a good parent or a good spouse or a good neighbor or a good
Yeah.
worker. It's important to feel good every day to be able to do those things. So,
And
Absolutely.
I want to live long. So
yeah, live long. That's
and
right.
live longer.
Live,
Yeah.
live longer. Absolutely. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Sabrina, we wish you were here with
Yes.
us, but maybe we can get Sabrina another day. But we look forward to hearing more great results from you. And we're going to put the caption at the bottom of the video so everybody can see where your website is. Say it one more time, the website.
ReviveFunctionalWellnessSC.com.
Okay.
And Revive Functional Wellness on Facebook and Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you so much, ladies. Thanks for joining us. And we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So what'd you think? Did you enjoy learning about functional wellness? I thought it was super cool. And it's great that there's another strategy. They really wanted to emphasize that they are not a substitute for your healthcare provider. Your healthcare provider is very important. They are nurses themselves, so they certainly support traditional methods of healthcare. They are a supplement to what your healthcare provider can do for you. So it's just, don't be afraid to try. Their website is www.revivefunctionalwellnesssc.com. And their email is info@revivefunctionalwellnesssc.com. So get in touch with them, make an appointment. The first consultation, there's no charge, so you have nothing to lose. We are here to try and help you feel better. I hope you've enjoyed all of our healthy videos for the month of January on a Slice of Pie podcast. We've tried to touch on a little bit of everything, and maybe you have some more suggestions that we haven't thought of, but whatever you can do to make yourself feel better, work better, just have a better life, try it and do it. Why not? We'll have another great guest next week, and so I hope you will tune in and listen. And until then, please rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends and neighbors about a Slice of Pie, add it to their lineup of what they listen to every week on their podcast lineup. Hope y'all have a great weekend and a great week. We will see you soon. Bye.